How do I fit this? Boom. All set. Maybe I could move somewhere cuter. Hi guys. Let's see if I can move somewhere cuter. Da 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 da. Hi guys, welcome to the Brave Pod. Perfect. We're just waiting for our special guest to request to be on. And hopefully they'll be on soon. And I hope you guys. Hi guys, welcome to the Brave Pod. I think our special guest is here. Just go ahead and send us a request and we'll add you to the conversation. Yes.
Wow, this is the first time I'm doing this.
Wow, it's cute, right?
Yeah, I like this. How's
Yeah,
it
it's
going?
cute. It's pretty good. How's it going for you?
I'm doing great. Currently at the
Yeah,
firehouse right now. So if I get an alarm in between our conversation, I apologize, but then I'll try to log right back on.
a fire alarm. A
Yeah.
firehouse.
Oh, yeah, I'm at the
That's
firehouse right now.
cool. I've always wanted to go and like go down the little pole. I know that's the only thing I think about when I think of firehouse. Are you a firefighter?
I am.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, we'll talk about that another
Talk
time.
about that.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys.
It actually might be inside the conversation, so.
Awesome. Well, anyways, guys, welcome to the Brave Pod. As you know, the Brave House is a nonprofit organization down in Brooklyn that supports immigrant girls ages 16 to 24. We're here every Friday and sometimes on special days to speak to one of our guests, our members, about identity and just like anything that they're willing to talk about. So we're here with Sunny today, who's a firefighter, which I didn't know. Woo! Our first male guest ever.
Oh my gosh.
We're
Really?
10 episodes in, and you're the first one. Yep. So we're so
Great,
happy to
great.
have you and to have
I'm
a new
happy to be here.
perspective. Yeah.
I'm definitely happy to be here.
You look like there was a fire.
Oh, so I'm actually at the firehouse, right? And I work with about maybe 10 guys, and some women. And one guy just actually tried to come into the room and I'm like, give me 1 second. So,
Right. So let's kick it off with the first question. We don't want to take too much of your time. So, where do you feel like, what are 3 places besides the firehouse that you feel like make up your identity?
that was actually one of them.
I knew
Um,
it.
okay. I could say,
By the way.
okay. So one of the first places, I'm going to say 2 places and then one experience that helps make up my identity. The first place is an organization that I'm a part of. It's called Universal Goju. It's a martial art and a chess school. A lot of my experiences that I was able to deal with throughout my life was from being able to have a place to be able to share what I've been through. So for instance, within the practice of martial art, you have teachers, right? You have senseis. And I was able to, from those experiences that I went through, let's say being bullied in school, I was able to have an outlet to express how I felt and what I've been through. And my teachers helped me cope with those situations instead of just maybe reacting and saying, hey, listen, you beat me up, I'm going to retaliate. I was
Right.
able to understand that place was, those individuals were coming from a place of fear and not love, where I learned how to then come from love and not fear.
I love that. And then your
So that was one
second
place.
and third place?
Okay, so the second place, I got to use the firehouse. Okay, so I got to use the fire department. Um, okay, so I've been on the job for about maybe 13 years, and I've seen a lot in my time. Um, it helped shape who I am as a person because I learned to lead with empathy. Going into a fire and rescuing someone, or pulling up to an emergency scene at a car accident, there was plenty of times where I had to stop the guys that I was with because they were more from a robotic, okay, let's get this person out. I'm like, hold on a second here. Let's treat this person as a human being. And there was plenty of situations where I knew that um, leading with empathy, I was able to lead more with concern, and also being an EMT, so I was able to lead more with concern. Um, does that kind of answer that question?
Yeah.
I'm kind of drifting a little bit because I'm trying to come up with a thought process that I know how I feel, but I'm trying to make it make sense.
It makes sense. Trust me.
Okay.
I'm going to
Okay.
respond when you complete your answers.
Okay. I want you to respond to that, and let's get a working conversation going here.
So then I'm going to respond to the first one. I love how even if it was martial arts, it wasn't used for violence. It was actually used for love. And I think that that's something that's super interesting. I don't think that a lot of people think about martial arts in like a loving way, or like a, oh my God, this is to help me process my own emotions, not to really hurt anybody else. So I felt like that was very strong. And I really love that because, like I said, I don't ever hear it from that perspective. And I'm glad that you had a space to process your emotions, because a lot of people don't, they just kind of move on, move on, move on. And then they sort of build up all these sort of like bitterness and just like negative feelings, which projects eventually to other people, right? Like the bully who was acting out of fear and not out of love, right? So I really love that answer. That was my first
Exactly.
one. And then
Okay.
the firehouse, I love that too, because I think that firefighters are seen as like breaking doors down and like also
Right?
kind of like aggressive and assertive, but you're like, no, like you can still be assertive and aggressive and care. And I think that
Exactly.
that's really important, and especially coming from a man, not to like bring gender into it, but I just feel like that's something that's not often talked about. Um, because I don't know why, because I feel like aggressiveness is seen as like masculine, and now you're kind of like breaking down those layers and telling people you can do both. You don't have to pick one or the other, which I love.
Exactly. Exactly. Good.
Your third place.
Okay. So this one is going to be an experience that I've been through. Uh, so I did mention that I was bullied in high school, and it took me a long time to come to the realization within myself that, that was an okay thing that happened to me because it helped shape who I am today. Um, to be able to lead with that empathy and lead with love. So I remember back in high school, I tried to fit in. I wanted to play sports, and I remember that it was a few guys that were maybe a year above me, that took liking to me because maybe I was a little athletic, and I was black, and they were black too, and a lot of it was taking me under their wing. But then one of the individuals, he, let's say, turned against me, and that really broke, let's say, my heart, because all I was looking for was just being able to belong to something, acceptance. Exactly. So it was kind of like I was in this mental state of, it was like an abuse, but I wanted to stay in that situation. Like I wanted to stay in that group, even though I was getting abused mentally, physically, and I would even say spiritually. And I had no escape. I tried my hardest to try to leave that group, but they were the cool kids, right?
Mhm.
So I just remember one day just standing up for myself and basically saying, you know what, I'm not going to take this anymore. And I had to learn how to detach myself from that group of individuals and learn how to be strong on my own. And when I started to do that, I got a lot of pushback from it, but I learned a lot of qualities about myself. I learned how to
Yeah.
be courageous. I learned how to be disciplined to my actual actions and take that and say, you know what, I'm not going to go back to that. And whatever comes down my path, it's going to be for a reason, is only going to help me.
Right. I think that's something that I was thinking about while you were speaking, is sometimes we are attracted to pain and hurt because we feel like that's all we deserve, or we feel like that's the only way to be accepted. Like, if I just keep letting this person treat me this way, then they're gonna be my friend. I'm gonna gain their respect. But sometimes you just have to kind of like break out of that and see those sort of patterns within yourself. And I think that once you realize and you start to love yourself, it's easier to speak up, right? Like,
Exactly.
I don't like the way you're treating me. Don't talk to me like that. Even if we're friends, I should be able to tell you, hey, like, Sunny, this was cool, but next time you ask me to do something, can you say please? Like, that should be like regular conversation, and we shouldn't feel like scared or like we're gonna ruin our friendship just because you're honest about your feelings. If you can't be honest about your feelings with someone, then maybe you shouldn't be friends with them. And I think that
Exactly.
that's something that I tell my friends all the time. Like, if I can't tell you how I'm feeling in a like nice, courteous way, no argument, just like I'm a person, how I react and how I feel, or what my prior traumas are. Like, it might be me projecting, but I'm just letting you know moving forward so we can strengthen our relationship, right? So I think that I'm glad that you got to like learn that, and that was high school as well.
That was my freshman and sophomore year. I went to an all boys school.
Yeah.
But then eventually I left that school and I went to a public school that was in my neighborhood, and it was the complete polar opposite. You know,
Right.
I had friends in that school, or people that I grew up, childhood friends that I grew up with, that took me under their wing. And, you know, I was a little ignorant to the concept of, you know, what's right and wrong. You know, I did what I felt was true and real to me, you know. So if it
Right.
was hanging out and, you know, maybe doing the wrong things, it was the right thing for at that particular time. And I
Right.
was lucky enough to have those individuals in my life at that time to help teach me and guide me. And maybe in that way of wasn't that good, but it was right for me at that time. So I learned both sides of the spectrum.
So you talk a lot about like processing feelings and just like things that you've gone through in your life, which leads me to my next question, especially during a time like this. I know you're working. I don't know what other hobbies you're doing. Not hobbies. Well, your work is not a hobby, but it can be.
Yeah.
Um, what are you doing to take care of your mental health right now? I know like it's a lot being black, being a man, being black in America. I mean, so much is going on, just being a black person in general. But also COVID. Also, you're taking care of people all the time. How do you take care of yourself, and how do you take care of your mental health?
That's a great question. So the first thing, I try to lead a healthy lifestyle, both physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
From a physical standpoint, you know, I enjoy exercise, and I feel like um, it gives me an opportunity to get out aggression, to stay fit, to stay cardiovascular healthy, um, and also to have a routine. You know, I
Right.
like structure, and in the time of COVID, it kind of like gave me an opportunity to have a schedule for myself. You know, so I would say exercise was key, definitely key for me. Mentally, I'm very much into meditation. So
Mm.
to be able to process what's really happening nowadays, both on the political side, and as well as COVID, which it's just a sad thing what has happened in our society recently. Um,
Right.
Being able to go away for a moment, get to myself, put the cell phone down, turn off the news, and just get to myself, whether I'm doing a meditation form or whether I'm isolating from that outside environment. That helps me just stay balanced, you know? So meditation is definitely a key part of that. And spiritually, I take on things that I enjoy doing. You know, I enjoy cooking. I enjoy baking. I
Mm.
enjoy,
You.
uh, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I enjoy
I'm not a
playing
good baker,
chess.
but I like to cook.
Oh, good. And a lot of things. So hobbies, you know, help me stay I would say both physically, mentally, and healthy was the physical exercise, meditation, and staying active in things that I enjoy doing.
Yeah, I love that. I also do yoga every morning. I try to do yoga every morning. I try to meditate and before I even start my day. I recently
That's
started to
good.
get back on that. I
Okay.
kind of fell off because I was kind of like living. I think environment is super important, at least for me. And I was living in a place that I didn't necessarily love, but I just moved to Brooklyn now and like have big windows in my room and it's really cute. So now I'm trying to like build my routine again and like starting to meditate, let the sun hit my face before
That's
winter
great.
starts. So I really love your answers. I think that exercising and just doing things that like replenishes your energy, like at the end of the day, I love that. I love just anything, and it's different for everybody. You know, it's never the same.
Absolutely. Well, that's key. What you just said is definitely different for everyone. And I feel like once you start to learn who you are as a person, and then you start to attract to these types of things that might be more beneficial for you than someone else. You know, yoga is super important. And I actually wanted to partake in yoga more than what I do now. But it just doesn't resonate with me at this particular point. Maybe running outside resonates more with me, you know? So if
Exactly.
anything keeps you going and keeps you mentally like comfortable, then it's definitely beneficial.
And I love the fact that you use resonating because I only do yoga because I used to dance ballet, and I think it's like super similar, like kind of movement, but just like with a spiritual and meditation sort of vibe added onto it, right? So that's
Yeah,
why I started to get into yoga because I was like, oh my god, I haven't taken a ballet class in so long. Like, what can I do? And then I found out about Yoga for the People, which I found out they're doing classes outside now. So if
really.
anyone wants to look into that, I it was like free yoga. I don't know if it's still going on because of COVID, but it was like free yoga in the city. It was donation based. It was
Okay.
super cool. But what's something you're excited about? Like
Oh,
coming up that you want to share with us? Anything?
I'm excited about a lot of things.
Awesome.
Well, so just a little bit of backstory. Besides firefighting, I'm also a board certified nutritionist, and I actually used to practice
Awesome.
for years in Westchester, New York. And I gave up that practice to become a full time, I'm sorry, part time between this and firefighting, a baker. But then I moved on past that, and I finally came to a standpoint where I'm like, you know what? I want to get back into what I feel makes me feel good, and that's helping other people. Besides firefighting, I enjoy actually helping others live a healthier lifestyle. So I plan on doing something probably within the next month, coming out with a YouTube video series, as well as potentially a podcast. And I just want my voice to be heard in the area of health and wellness, and showing people not just the right foods to eat, not just like these are the foods you should cook, these are the vitamins and minerals, but being able to really get into the aspect of we all have the ability to live our own healthy lifestyle, you know, and it's not the right diet, it's not this, it's not that. It's based on what's right for you, you know.
Right.
And a lot of people, I don't want them to get the misconception that yeah, there are diets that fad diets that, like the ketogenic diet, but it might not be realistic to people. So I want to help give people a realistic approach towards their personalized health, you know? So that's something I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah. I love that. And I thought of a little idea for you. It would be so cool if you could, because I would watch this YouTube video if you made one. It would be so cool to, because you know, sometimes you're baking and you're adding a whole bunch of like sugar and icing and like eggs and stuff that, you know, a lot of people are vegan now. A lot of people, so it would be so cool to learn how to make like cookies, like, but from a healthy perspective, or just like things like snacks and like sweets that people usually want to eat, but they feel like they're cheating on their like lifestyle. So maybe figuring out how to make that healthy, like making cookies healthy and cakes healthy and brownies healthy. Like, how can I cook that in a healthier way? I think that I would be so interested to watch because you know some people are like, oh
Yes,
my god, chocolate, I shouldn't be eating it, but it's my favorite, da, da, da. But maybe you can eat it. Like you just have to
that's a
figure out
great
how to,
idea.
you know, cook it but better, bake it but better. Just a thought. I think
While
we
at
are
the
smart
firehouse, by the way.
while at the firehouse. I also love that
While at the
you,
firehouse.
your lifestyle reminds me of like the book Becoming by Michelle Obama, because the main thing that resonated with me in that book was that you don't have to be one thing. You can live your life and just like wake up and be anything that you want to be. Like, I remember the beginning of that book, she was like, oh, I don't like that we ask kids, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? As if like you could only be one thing and that's it. Like, I love your story because you're like, yeah, I was a nutritionist. Yeah, I'm a firefighter. Yeah, I'm baking too. Like, you're doing the whole, everything you want to do, you're living your best life to the fullest, and you're figuring out how to balance it through your everyday life, which I love. And I want to just bring that up just for people who are watching, because I want people to know, like, you don't have to be one thing. If you have a corporate job, you could be like, no, I want to work nonprofit now, aka me. Or you could be like, no, actually, I'm going to go to law school and just merge PR and law because no one's ever done it before. Like, you don't have to do one thing always, which I love about what you said.
I agree.
But now we're going to play a game. It's called Finish the Sentence. I'm going to say a phrase, and you have to try to complete it with one word. Ooh, I let people choose. You could use 2 or 3 words if you want. If you must.
All right. One word. One word.
One word.
All right. I'm ready.
My happy place is... Two words.
See, I have to think about this because for me, it's not even a place. It's just how I feel. I feel, for the most part, content, because of what I mentioned to you about, whether it's exercise. So my happy place, I would say, would be with my...
Just use multiple words. It's okay. Lauren just said you can use words. I just like to make it like one word.
Yeah, I know. It's at home with my dogs.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have 2 Rhodesian Ridgebacks, and I love them very much. And I had them as puppies, and they grew to a certain size where I couldn't keep them in my apartment anymore. So I had to move them to Westchester with my parents. But when I'm there, it's like seeing them again for the first time. So, yeah.
If I could be any animal, I would be a
dog.
Bravery is
contagious.
Immigration is beautiful because
multiple words here.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it gives people opportunity to go to a place that they feel loved.
I love that. The world needs more of
love.
Something I want to be good at is
guitar. Playing the guitar.
So, I come alive when I'm You can use multiple words on this one. It's the last one.
Meditating.
Why I feel like you skipped 2? Like you were thinking about one and then you skipped it and then you went to your other one and then you skipped it. Or am I
did. I skipped so much. This is my first time doing live.
On your face, I was like, he was like in a file, like, nope.
Exactly. This is my first time doing live, and then so I see people. I didn't realize that because I'm doing live that my friends are like logging into. So I'm like, oh, I actually know that person. Oh, I know that. Oh, okay. These are friends of mine that's on my that I follow, and they follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, so that's how live works.
Duh, right? So now that when you asked me that question, if it was between, no, I'm joking. I'm glad.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Final question before you get in trouble. What message do you have for anyone that's watching right now that may be having a tough time, or they are seeking some sort of inspiration, or just any message that you feel like you want to share today
Okay.
with the world?
I would say go within.
Go
With anything that you're going through, look within. Um, when we start to resonate with who we are and what makes us feel good, then what that does, it kind of eliminates the noise. It kind of eliminates even people in your life that you're kind of like, you know what, that actually doesn't vibe with me. So I'm gonna either separate from that moment, from that person, or I'm just gonna just move on and eliminate that altogether. When you start to resonate with who you are and what makes you feel good and what makes you feel balanced from within, then you're kind of like on your own path, you know?
Right. I
So
love
go
that.
within.
Go within. I love that. I'm about to go tell somebody that right now who is seeking
Okay,
my
good.
advice. Go within. Well,
Good.
thank you so much for joining us, Sunny. It was really, truly a pleasure. Like, awesome. I'm gonna be checking out your YouTube, waiting for it.
Yes. I'll
Send it to
definitely
me. Actually, I'm gonna follow you because I'm actually
oh,
perfect timing.
perfect time.
Bye.
All
Have a
right,
great
gotta go.
day.
Thank you. Bye bye.